So thank you, everyone. My name is Star Dargan. We are going to hear about gratitude and the practical uses of it in businesses. This is about transforming anger using gratitude in work situations. So I'm going to share 3 stories, 3 challenges, and 3 solutions. So first, we're going to start, before we even get into that, I'm going to get us all into a grateful mood. So just take a deep breath and think about what you are grateful for right now. At work, what are you grateful for in this moment? Take a deep breath. I know the ocean and the beach relaxes a lot of people and they feel grateful there. I'm grateful for my first grandson. That's Ryan right there. I'm grateful for having a window in my office. Can you just get to that place where gratitude is in every cell and bone of your body? Okay. So the question I have for you, when you are in that place of gratitude, and I'm going to use the chat to converse with you guys, go ahead and share in the chat. What's possible? So imagine you arrive at work every day and you're feeling deep gratitude at work. What's possible and what's achievable, and what would be different if you and everyone else operated from this place of deep gratitude? Okay. Some of the typical answers are more open, better relationships, positive energy. Absolutely. And when we have positive energy, people are open, they're more innovative, they're more engaging, better solutions, faster solutions, more sustainable solutions. Okay. So that's what this is about. 3 stories, 3 challenges, 3 solutions, using gratitude to transform to that more efficient and effective place using positive energy. It's how can we not step over, this is really important, not step over the negative, the critical feedback, but use it and approach it with a place from gratitude. So before we get into the 3, I just want to say a little bit about gratitude. So this is not, gratitude transforms and it's healing. We know that. Science knows it. History tells us that. So I just want to start with, it's not all that woo-woo stuff. I love woo-woo, but there are real practical, hard science proof that it works. Well, gratitude improves careers. It improves our health. There's so many studies that show, people after an operation, if they had a gratitude practice, healed faster. They were depressed less. Other studies from top universities around the world show that if we practice gratitude for like 5 minutes a day, our day is 10 to 20% better. Another study that shows we live longer. And we also know gratitude has been around as long as people have. It's part of every major religion. It's how we sort of build things up, okay? There's no downside. But we know, here's how it applies to work. Actions from gratitude. When we're in that place of gratefulness that we hopefully were just able to experience, they have improved results. The results are more innovative, we're healthier, mentally, physically, spiritually, our career is better, we're more engaged. Why would a business not want that? And businesses are starting to get this now. I've worked with a handful of businesses that are including gratitude in their vision and mission. Social science proves it, hard science proves it. Even many of the leading experts today include it in what's going on, which is most of it's science backed. So this session is for you. What I find is that people don't come to my classes unless they're already a grateful person. So this session is for you, the 3 stories, 3 challenges, 3 tools. If you're already a pretty grateful person, pretty positive person already, and it's not quite working the way you want it to, or you have periods of gratitudes, and you may already have a gratitude practice, but you can't understand why someone else is not grateful. Why doesn't it work? Why don't they see feedback as a gift? Why are they always unhappy? This is what this is for you. This is for you. So here's the 3 stories I'm going to tell. And I tried to pick, there's so many stories I have from writing the book, and I'm working on my second book right now. This is why I'm doing these. I'm trying to collect more stories. So at the end, I have a survey. It's 10 minutes. If you can fill it out, that would be great. There's a QR scan code, or you can click on the link, SurveyMonkey, or contact me and I'll do a 20-minute interview with you. So I'm collecting stories, and I picked 3 stories to share with you that highlight 3 tools that I think you can use right away, and that they kind of have universal appeal that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so the 3 stories are: the boss doesn't respect you, a team member has an opinion that's not your opinion and they're not changing it. So, well, these are work stories. These things also apply at home generally. Or the third story is a person has seething anger at this other person, and it's just getting in the way of anything getting done. So again, I just want to put this in context. I'm not suggesting, and I do not recommend, to step over, to deny, to just be happy. It's important to understand all of the negative and all of the complexity and all of the real emotions that are there, and to handle that, and to absolutely handle that, and understand that gratitude is a way that it can coexist and manage those things at the same time. Actually, you can't be angry and grateful at the same time, and you need to acknowledge the anger or whatever the negative emotion is, okay? And learn how to shift to gratitude. All right, so we're going to start with story number 1. Boss doesn't respect you. Is that you? Do you know someone like that? Maybe it's not you. Maybe you're the boss. I don't know. But this had been going on for a long time. This person, here's the actions. It's all about the actions being better from gratitude. So this person I've actually been coaching for a while. And this person was ready to leave the company. It had been about 2 years. Boss doesn't respect me, doesn't listen to me, doesn't pay attention to me, throws me under the bus. Why am I staying? That's an action. Leaving the company is an action. No gratitude for the boss at all whatsoever. Okay. So I knew this person. So I said, so the challenge, they're stuck in this. I'm not grateful for this boss. I'll never be grateful for this boss. So the challenge is, how can they shift to an approach of gratitude when they have no respect for the boss, or they for them? So the first thing I said, and I know this person, so I said, can I try this on you? Don't get mad at me, but can I try this on you? I'm going to try this 3-step tool. It's called Shift to Gratitude. And I'm not trying to bother you, but I'm just trying to see if we can get someplace different. It's been 2 years, and I know you're about ready to leave the company. And the company was paying me to coach this person. And my allegiance was to the company and the person, both of them. So I said, I'm going to try a shift to gratitude. So what I did is I just kept asking him. Step 1, I noticed you don't feel gratitude about your boss. I noticed there's nothing, she doesn't respect you, you don't respect her. There's all sorts of negative emotions that are difficult, and I acknowledge that. And before we go to your action, I want to ask you, is there anything you're grateful for with this boss? No. And I ask this question over and over and over. Are you grateful? Anything in the meetings, what she says, what she does, never disrespectful. And this went on for about 10 minutes. And he knew it was a tool I was using. And then finally, after 10 minutes, he stops and he looks at me. This is all virtual too. And he starts laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? And he says, she's a great dresser. Wow, she's a great dresser. I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah. And then he goes, oh, and she's an amazing family person. She goes home at 6 every night so that she can have dinner with her kids. Wow. She really respects her family. And you could see how he had completely changed in terms of how he thought of her. She was a family person, something he also respected, and she really took care of herself and dressed really well. I'm like, okay. So he had shifted. I could see, coaching him, you could see physically his hands were not clenched anymore. He was breathing slower, and he almost had a smile on his face. Then this is where it happens. This is the action. I said, okay, so what do you want to do? What do you want to do about your situation? The boss doesn't respect you. You don't have a good relationship. He said, oh, you know what? I am going to see if we can meet every week, and I'm just going to listen to her. So all of a sudden he had all these things that he was going to try to build up a better positive relationship. So this was maybe a couple of years ago. And so we did it. He doesn't have a great relationship with her. He actually got moved out to someone else, but he's still at the company. So rather than taking the action of leaving the company in anger, learning to create positive relationships with people that he thinks doesn't respect him, he started to create the basis of at least a professional working relationship, stayed at the company, got moved to a much better boss, and actually got promoted up 2 levels. So he learned how to work, use the anger, shift to gratitude, work with someone who he thought didn't respect him, stayed there, got promoted up 2 levels. So that's story number 1. So the challenge is working with someone you think doesn't respect you, that gets you angry. The tool that he used, he shifted to a place of gratitude. He learned how to shift to gratitude and took actions from the place of gratitude. So that's tool number 1 with challenge number 1. Any thoughts? Feel free to type them in the chat. Thoughts? Can you relate to this? Does it make sense? On tool number 1, shift to gratitude as fast as you can. That's tool number 1. Okay. I have a personal story about that too. The faster you can shift to gratitude, the less damage you're going to cause. Staying in anger may cause you to say things or type things or some things that may cause problems down the line. So the trick is, go back to that slide, the trick is how can you shift to gratitude really fast? Okay. So the next one, this happens a lot. A team member has an opinion that's not yours and it's not changing. So for example, I'm not asking anyone to tell me what their opinion is. If you believe in masks or not masks, you believe in vaccines or not vaccines, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you believe in this, you believe in that. I don't want to know. As a leader, we have people that work for us that have both opinions. And it is not our job, unless it's related to the project, to change their opinion or influence it, right? It is our opinion as a leader to understand it, figure out what our job is and how to get everybody on the team moving forward. Okay. So this is a story of an HR person, very senior HR person, very experienced, who's like, I'm a really grateful person. I'm such a grateful person. How can this be? She was facing a situation where I'm going to call her, I'm not saying the real names to these, Janine. I'm going to call her Janine. Janine's facing the situation where she has to bring people from East Coast, West Coast, North, South together into a meeting. This was like 4 months ago, where everyone had different opinions. And she was so mad because people had different opinions. And how can they not understand that they have to do this? They have to do this because some people believe this, some people believe that. And it was like their first face-to-face physical meeting. It's a very senior, wise, wonderful, grateful HR person. And they weren't going to change their opinion, right? They weren't going to. So I was doing a coaching with her. And what I said was, I get that you're a grateful person. She was really hung up on the gratitude. But let's get a little more specific. So you run into the situation before, sort of a microcosm where people have different opinions, right? Yep. And you get really mad. So let's focus on, instead of the big issue that they're separate and you're so mad at that, let's start laser. Let's be a laser. Let's search and focus and dig. And so I started asking her all these different questions. I said, okay, so I paraphrased her situation. Is it this? Is it that? Is it that? Yes, it's this. All right, step back. Okay, you're grateful. Now, from that place, what lesson did you learn by bringing these people that have different opinions together? What lesson? What do you know? What did you learn? Oh, my lesson is I'm not going to change their mind. My lesson is I have to put this meeting on of all these senior people who have different opinions. My lesson is that's just who they are. Therefore, I've got to create plan B and C. Oh, I'm grateful I know the lesson. Wow, now that I know that, and it was almost like a gear shifted. All of a sudden, instead of focusing on that one thing, when she got to narrowing down, she was able to move forward and put on this really incredible event that accommodated and put it all right out there, very transparent, all the points and all the issues. Okay, so it's search and focus. I'm a grateful person, but I'm not grateful at that. What is it that you could be grateful on? All right. And this is happening everywhere in HR departments, you know, especially big companies. Everyone has different opinions. It's how can you be creative and innovative and acknowledge the different different opinions and different stances and work with it to create that positive solution and still respect everybody. All right, so that's the second tool, search and focus. You're grateful, search and focus. It may be something really little. Another example of this, here's something that I would challenge you to do. If you look at a disaster, any disaster in the world, whether it be a shooting, a mass shooting, Ukraine, or blah, 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 and you listen to the story, usually within 5 or 10 minutes after this, oh my God, this is horrendous. How could this happen? This is horrible. Within 5 or 10 minutes, someone will say, and I'm so grateful for the person that brought the medicine. I'm grateful for the person that helped me. I'm grateful for this. It's when they dig down and they get specific and they're laser focused. There's something there. So it's holding the, this is horrible and gratitude. This is horrible and gratitude. Even if you look at Elie Wiesel, who wrote the book when he came back from the concentration camp. It's horrific, it's horrifying. And when he was asked how he survived, I focused on what I had, not on what I didn't. It's an incredible story. Okay, so any comments, feedback on story number 2 and solution number 2? Challenge, I'm grateful, but I'm not grateful about this person, the situation. So become laser focused down. That's solution number 2. Thoughts, input. Did it make sense? Can you use that tool? Can you use that tool? Okay. I've actually seen that tool used a lot since I kind of, people who are grateful, this is actually all of these tools, I have to tell you, people are already using. I just labeled them as tools. So all of that second story, she was kind of already doing, I just helped her articulate it and put it into do this, this, and this, and you'll get to that. So that's why I'm fascinated. I really want to hear from anyone listening to this in the survey or do the interview, because I want to pull out more tools that everybody can use. Okay, so the third story and the last story is about, call it seething anger at one individual. and the reason I teach and study gratitude is I feel I'm a pretty grateful person, but I could be a lot better. You know, when I first wrote the book, my friend that I've known since childhood read it. And one of the things I say early on in the book, she says, you get mad at your husband? I'm like, yes. I do not consider myself a gratitude master. I consider myself getting better all the time, practicing. And the reason being is I want to be more grateful. I want to, what I call, deal with conflict and peacefully let people know how I disagree, or respectfully, peacefully, so that we can work on a solution in a grateful way. That's my journey. So yeah, still working that. So this one, seething anger at a person, I'm down to 2 people I still get very angry, not my husband, but people, you know, one in my personal life, one in the public life. The gratitude masters, there's a handful of them in the world. And you know, those people that just exude and radiate great gratitude, gratefulness. They just stay, you call it Buddha monk, Zen. They just stay in this place of calm and peacefulness. They're not denying the negative. They're just meditating, handling it. Everything is from a place of calm, no matter how horrible. Okay, gratitude can get to you there. So this story, seething anger at a person, it was another person, I'll call them Jack. It was actually a personal story, but they brought it into work. The personal story was that Jack had been working with his family to bring their 90-year-old dad up to live with them. So it took a couple of years. They got their 90-year dad. This was before COVID. They moved the 90-year dad up to like an assisted living house near them. So the dad could now be part of the family, interact with the grandkids, because the whole family's up here except for the dad, 90 years old. And then lo and behold, like 3 days after the dad moved, he passed away. Jack was so mad at his dad. He was like, and his family, mad at his dad, mad at his family. We should have brought him up 5 years earlier. How dare he die? You never had a relationship with my kids. And just mad and mad and mad. Couldn't even get past the anger to create a respectful funeral. And then he came into work and I would talk to him here and there about this. This was all really compressed time frame. He died, he was mad. They had like a week to put on the whole funeral, bring everybody together. And at the time, it was actually when I was working on the book and talking about gratitude and just asking questions. And I'd say, well, what are you grateful for your dad about? What are you grateful for your dad about? Can we try something? And he was like, no, I can never be grateful. I can never not be angry at my family for not bringing him up faster, at my dad for not having a relationship with my kids. I said, well, how about if we just try a different hat, a different perspective? What do you mean? Well, just pretend. I had to use the word pretend. You're going to be angry. So you accept the person from where they are. You're angry. I get it. I'm not going to take that away. But just pretend you could put on a different hat with your dad. What might that be? Oh, okay. Well, you know what? He was really good at solving problems. You know what? He provided for us. You know what? He sent us birthday cards every day. You know what? He was good to my mom. Okay, great. What else? Well, you know what? He was generally a really happy guy. He was the type of guy you could put him down anywhere and you said, okay, well, what else? He was optimistic. You know what? I had 90 years with him. 90 years. I had 90 years of interaction with my dad. Some people don't even have that. Some people don't even know their dad. Gratitude's a comparison. Wow, I had 90 years of my dad on this earth. And so Jack went through all these different hats and he kept trying them out and thinking about them. The interesting thing where Jack ended up was, I had 90 years with my dad. Wow, I'm so grateful for that. So when he changed his perspective, tried a different hat on, shifted to gratitude instead of anger, they made this amazing, amazing, very respectful, very honorable funeral service for the dad. And so while that was a personal story, the interesting thing, the tool of trying different hats and changing perspective, Jack brought back to work and started using it to coach people that work for him. So it's like, you're angry. I don't believe him. I don't trust him. Well, what other hat might you try? What other perspective? So just sometimes getting people to think about it's not one or the other. There are many views, many perspectives. Anger is one, and that's real and valid. Gratitude is one. Happy, positive, they're all there and they can all coexist. It's which one do you want to keep on your head? Okay. So that was the third story. Try a different hat, try a different perspective, and just let them try it on. So let me know if you have any thoughts or questions about that story. So finally, where I'm going to end is gratitude is a hard skill. It's not a soft skill. It gets you better results. People stay in their jobs. People have better relationships. People advance their career. People are able to help other people when they're in that place. And the results and the actions from gratitude are bigger, better, more effective, more efficient. And companies are finally getting that. Leaders are getting that. So it is a hard skill. And there are many challenges. I just gave you three that actually, all the ones I highlighted, it's unclear. Gratitude was unclear. People sometimes are too trusting. They assume things. I will never be anything but angry, or they're stuck. I'm grateful, but, okay. So sort of studying gratitude and how leaders work with it, I've come up with at least 16 different challenges. So if that's something that you want help with, or you want me to dig into your gratitude, what are your challenges and how do we get you there to really stay in that place of gratitude more often during your life, during your day? So there's actually four quick tips. There's two ways to do this. You build a strong gratitude muscle, right? It's like practice. To build any muscle, you have to practice, practice, practice. So you're already grateful because you're here. Build it. What does your gratitude practice look like? If you want more transformation faster, it's building that strong muscle. It's having a consistent practice, authentically applying it to get the improved results. Build on it, practice. The first story, remember I talked about disrespect for boss didn't respect him. What we worked on was the tool number 3 there, shift to gratitude. I'm not grateful. How do I shift to gratitude? How can I get there faster? The story I told you, it took him 2 years, but in the coaching conversation, it took him about 10 or 15 minutes to shift to gratitude and then try different actions. Okay. There's another story I didn't tell you about where where someone told me something I didn't like at work. They were basically not really firing me, but taking me off a job when I knew I wasn't grateful. In my head, I got pissed off, but when I shifted, I got some really good results. I kept the job and I got more business. So shift to gratitude, not 2 years, 15, but how can you do it really fast? And number 4, it's constantly learning and trying new behaviors and techniques that will keep you. Remember where we started? What are you grateful for that will keep you in that place of gratitude? So 3 tools I sort of shared with you: build your business, build your muscle, build your practice, shift fast. I have a bunch of resources if you want to follow up. The QR code is the survey. If you scan that or click on that last link, it's a 10-minute survey on gratitude. I'd love to hear from you. Or if you want my 20-page paper on creating cultures of gratitude, email it to you. I'll email it to you. I'm only giving it to people will ask. It's a lot, but there's really specific things you can do to help shift your team or culture to one of more gratitude. And I forgot about this. Some gratitude is a business game changer. Some businesses, unless it comes from Harvard Business Review, it's not real. So there's 9 articles with Harvard talking about the importance of gratitude that you can share and move around your company, your business, your team. And I think that is it. So I am going to stop the recording right now and take any other additional questions or thoughts. So stop the recording right now. Stop recording. There we go.